Hello, beautiful, shining, healthy souls. Welcome to the Reset to a Healthier You program. My name is Justine, your companion and guide in the 60-day journey. For those who have stumbled upon this video, I invite you to click on the link above or in the description box to learn more about the Reset to a Healthier You program. With that said, let's continue with this week's video. What comes to mind when you think of a healthy and active lifestyle? I would take a wild guess that most of you would think about having regular time for exercising, going to the gym, working out, playing sports, going outside, and taking a hike. While these activities are part of having a healthy and active lifestyle, we don't necessarily have to do these activities to be healthy and active. Curious? Stay tuned because this week's focus theme is about rethinking body movement and physical activity. We all know that being physically active is important and beneficial to our health. So instead of talking about the why and the benefits, you may do your own research. There are lots of information on the web. So what we will be talking about in this video is looking into a different way of thinking about what it means to have a healthy and active lifestyle. Now, before we continue, I would like to reiterate that I am not an expert nor a professional in the field of medicine and health and wellness. What I'll be sharing here are things that I resonate with. I'm the type of person who does things that are resonating with me. If I try it out and it feels good and it still resonates with me, then I will continue doing that until it doesn't serve me anymore. So I don't need much convincing in trying things out. Um, Although I do read or maybe like watch a YouTube video, but I don't go deep in trying to understand the science behind doing the activities. Um, Having said that, I do know that in sharing this program with you, I have a responsibility to do my work in researching so that what I'll be sharing with you are based on facts, on studies, and not just like something that I say, you know. So yeah, so anyway, the things that I'll be sharing with you are from my limited research. I didn't go deep into this, so please do not take the contents of this video as a comprehensive guide, advice, or absolute truth. That is not my intention. My invitation for you is to listen with curiosity and see what resonates with you. As with any topic that pulls at your curiosity, do your own research. Then be open in trying things out so you can see for yourself if it works or not for you. Sounds good? Let's continue. So in 2007, there was a study testing whether the relationship between exercise and health is moderated by one's mindset. The subjects for this study were 84 female room attendants at different hotels in New York. Now, you would think that working as room attendants, like they're changing linens, vacuuming, cleaning bathrooms, carrying heavy loads, etc., the subjects would see themselves as physically active. But it turned out when the researchers did a survey in the beginning of the study, 67% of the subjects reported that they didn't exercise at all. What's even more curious was that despite the fact that the subjects far exceeded the US Surgeon General's recommendation for daily exercise, which is 30 minutes of physical exercise to maintain a healthy lifestyle, the bodies of the subjects did not seem to benefit from their daily activities, which is shown by their body fat, waist to hip ratio, blood pressure, weight, and body mass index. So the researchers measured this before the start of the study. So anyway, the researchers divided the subjects into two groups, the informed group and the control group. For the informed group, the subjects were given information about how their work is good exercise, giving specific details of how much calories are being burned by their daily activities at work. They were also told that it was clear that they were easily meeting and even exceeding the Surgeon General's recommendations for being physically fit and having a healthy lifestyle. The information were given through verbal presentation, individual handouts, and on large posters which are placed on their bulletin boards in their lounge. Now the controlled group was not given this information. After 4 weeks, the researchers returned to take the same physical tests in the beginning of the study. Interestingly, the results showed that the informed group had lost an average of 2 pounds, lowered blood pressure by almost 10%, and were significantly healthier as measured by their body fat percentage, body mass index, and waist to hip ratio. The control did not have significant changes. Aside from the physical changes, there was also an observed change on how the informed group perceived their physical activity. So those who reported exercising regularly, so the perceived regular exercise, doubled, and the average amount of exercise the subjects believed to be getting, so this is the perceived amount of exercise, increased by 20%. So clearly, there's a mindset shift that happened. Um, Although the subjects did report higher levels of exercise at the end of the study, they did not report getting any additional exercise outside of work. And although they showed a significant increase in recognizing their work as a form of exercise, their actual workload did not change, which is confirmed by their managers and supervisors. Now, the results of the study are still subject to further exploration, and there are also criticisms as to whether the informed group changed behaviors, that is, they deliberately started making healthier choices after receiving the information. Whether this is true or not, whether the change in the subject's physiological health was brought about directly or indirectly, what we can take away from this study is that health is affected by mindset, which makes sense, right? Because, the body mind connection. So, what does this mean for us? Let's face it, not everyone can squeeze in gym time or structured exercise time in our busy schedules. And not for lack of trying, desire, or motivation. Some of us have to wear many hats: full time mom or dad, plus full time employee or business owner, plus different side gigs, plus memberships to different organizations, plus. We all have different responsibilities and priorities. And if we are being honest with ourselves, given our limited time and energy, we just have to choose which ball to drop. And usually, that ball is the time to exercise. But what if we don't have to drop any ball, or at least the being physically active ball? Just like in the study, what if we start shifting our perspective about what it means to be physically active? In fact, let me throw in this statement that I found during my research. Exercise is optional, movement is essential. I'll repeat that again. Exercise is optional, movement is essential. Think of exercise as structured activities wrapped up in a fitness program that are usually done in the gym with the use of machines and equipment under the guidance of a trained fitness coach. Exercise programs are mostly goal oriented since the programs are designed to entice those who want to lose weight, build muscles, tone their bodies, hit target repetitions and or weight, or preparing for a competition or event. Again, there is nothing wrong with wanting to achieve these goals. Having said that, if we want to take on a more holistic approach to our health and wellness, if we want to create lasting change in our lives, we need to connect with something deeper and innate within us. And that is outside of the external goals that we want to achieve. This is movement. As humans, we are born to move. Walking, running, climbing, dancing, crawling, lifting, jumping, swimming, even stretching. But we are now living in a world that makes it easier for us to choose a more sedentary lifestyle with all the convenience and accessibility options available within our fingertips. But what if I tell you that you can remain healthy just by being more intentional with moving our bodies throughout the day, every day of your life? Instead of just perceiving the time that we're doing structured exercises as the only acceptable and official time that you're exercising and therefore being physically active, also consider the time that you're spending doing daily activities that get your heart rate up and your body moving. These activities are called incidental activities. Incidental physical activity is defined as unstructured activity taken during the day, such as walking for transport, housework, and the performance of activities of daily living. Here are some examples of everyday activities that gets us moving. As I am going through the list, I would like to invite you to, take note of which of these activities are you already doing and how often are you doing them in a day or in a week. Ready? Okay. So there's cleaning around the house, doing active play with your kids, carrying your baby around the house or when you go out, gardening, taking the stairs instead of the escalator or elevator, walking or biking instead of taking the car or public transportation. When parking, you're choosing the farthest spot from the entrance. While waiting in line, you're doing some isolated stretches. While talking on the phone, you're standing up and walking around, or you're doing some leg raises, toe stands, or body stretches. So, did you take note of which of these activities you're already doing and how often? This may not seem much on its own, but these activities, when done consistently and intentionally, do add up and help us remain active and healthy. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not saying that doing structured exercises are not important. We're not saying that just doing these activities will magically transform your body and your health. The invitation here is for us to think of all types of physical activity, structured or unstructured, as an opportunity to improve our health. I don't know about you, but when I started taking on this perspective, the way I see my physical health and how I approach my physical activity shifted in a positive way. Instead of seeing myself as having a sedentary lifestyle, I realized that I am not as sedentary as I believed myself to be. How I approach physical activity now, there's less stress, more fun, and more intentionality. I don't have to do something because I should be doing it. I'm doing something because I enjoy doing it. And even if I don't put in the time to doing the structured exercises, as long as I'm moving around and keeping myself active throughout the day, then I know that I'm keeping myself healthy. Of course, this is partnered with, you know, eating healthily and also with sleeping, getting enough sleep and rest, etc., etc. Okay, but anyway, having said that, of course, there are metrics that professionals use to measure how active a person really is. Different studies will tell you different frequency, duration, and intensity are effective. So, anyway, these are already outside the scope of this program. What we are focusing on now is rethinking what it means to be physically active So we can start seeing opportunities to move our body and be active every day outside of the gym or structured exercise routines. The intention is to make it easier for us to get up and get our body moving as many times as possible throughout our days. If you have a fitness goal, make it a secondary priority. I invite you to make movement your primary priority instead. Move for movement's sake. Move because you are born to move. Now, the key here is to start small. Think of where you are now and then think of that 1% change that you can add to your daily activities so you can increase your intentionality in doing these incidental activities. Or if you're feeling inspired, you could also start introducing a more structured form of exercise in your days. Again, it depends on where you are now and your unique needs and also your unique situation. Just remember to start small and start where you are. Now, for those who spend most of their days sitting in front of a computer for work, your small action step could be at the start of your day, set an alarm every 30 minutes to remind you to get up and stretch. This is not really focused on doing the activity, but this is more like priming yourself to do the activity later on. Okay, so by every day, at the start of your day, you're setting an alarm to every 30 minutes to remind you to get up and stretch. It is priming your brain already, and it will increase, hopefully, your motivation to get up and stretch during that day. Another activity that you can do is that before you start work, so drink a glass of water. So again, this is not focused on body movement exactly, but what this do is so when you drink a glass of water, later on, you will feel a need to pee, right? So of course, you need to get up and go to the bathroom. So after you go to the bathroom, drink water again before you sit down. And then later on, you'll need to get up again to go pee. And then after you pee, you drink water again. So this is actually a personal practice of mine. So it's one way that I'm keeping myself active, making sure that I stand up like at least maybe every hour, you know, in drinking water and going to pee. So anyway, moving on. Next, if possible, if there are stairs in your office, so instead of using the escalator or elevator, take the stairs. And then maybe you could also go for a midday walk after eating lunch. So studies have shown that our blood sugar increases after a meal. But doing a 15-minute walk after you eat helps in your digestion and helps in reducing blood sugar spike. So, meaning that you're controlling your blood sugar level. Now, you don't have to start with a 15-minute walk. Again, we're starting small. You can do just 1 minute for this week, and then you can increase as you continue on later. And then last, if you're commuting to work, you may change up your usual routine so you include an extra walking time. So for example, we choose a parking spot that is far from the entrance. Or if you're taking public transportation, you get off 1 block before your destination. So, think of different ways that you could include extra walking time. And then for other recommendations, so you can do a 1 minute stretch as soon as you wake up or before you go to sleep. So a personal practice of mine is, as soon as I wake up, I do my stretch. So the starfish pose. So I just extend my limbs like a starfish, and then I say a quick like, thank you, Lord God, thank you for today, thank you for a new day. So something like that, right? And then you may also do stretches while you are watching TV, doing the laundry, washing the dishes, etc., etc. And then another thing is that you could put your legs up on a wall for 30 seconds. So this helps in your blood circulation, and also like in lessening the pressure on your legs. Um, so just lie down on your bed if it is against the wall. So make sure that your butt is touching the wall and then your legs are extended up on the wall. And then just hold that position for 30 seconds. Okay? And then last, you may do like jumping jacks or any intense activity for 30 seconds before your meal. So again, this is said to help in controlling those post-meal blood sugar spikes. Okay, so just for 30 seconds doing intense activity. That doesn't sound so bad, right? So I also invite you to think of other activities that you can do, that you can add to your days. Just think of how can you add more intentional body movements to your activities, okay? So now let's take a look at how this week will look like for you. So we always start our days with setting an intention on how we want to show up in our lives. This week, the intention is today I am having fun moving my body. Let me repeat that. Today I am having fun moving my body. And then commit to assume your healthier self by choosing your own small inspired action step from the sample list or from your own list. So just something to remind you, okay? If you have a medical condition, please do consult with your primary health physician before starting any physical activity that could cause you more pain. While this program specifically invites you to just focus on doing small and simple movements, please do listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, stop what you're doing and choose a different activity. Okay? So, here are some loving reminders to help you throughout this week's journey. So, as you do your activities, I invite you to really be present in whatever you are doing. As you breathe, connect with your body. Take notice of how each part of your body does its job to perform the activity. Having this awareness and connection with our body intensifies our experience of whatever activity we are doing. So remember that we are able to do these macro activities because of the micro movements within and throughout our body. Isn't that amazing? The same principle of starting small is also applied when you are finally ready to introduce a more structured exercise routine in your days. You don't have to commit to a 1 hour exercise routine right away. You also don't have to go full out all at once. So start small and start where you are. You may increase the duration, frequency, and intensity as you continue along your journey. And lastly, check in with yourself how you're perceiving physical activity. Is it an inconvenience or an opportunity? Is it a form of punishment or another way to bring in more energy and joy? Is it a means to lose weight or a lifestyle choice to support your healthier self? Wherever you are right now, acknowledge and accept it. Honor the space you are in and then see how you can start shifting your perspective so your mindset is supporting your holistic health and wellness. And before I end this program, this video, again, just want to remind you that this is your activity. So choose activities that brings you joy, that makes you come alive. Don't just choose an activity because other people said that this is the activity that you should be doing. Okay, so be open and trying things out, experimenting, and see what works for you. Okay, so with that, let me end today's video. Thank you so much for showing up, and I am super excited for what will unfold for you as we go through this 60-day journey. So, we're already nearing the end of our journey. So, very exciting. So, anyway, I'll see you again next week for the next part of our journey. Until then, keep shining and enjoy resetting to a healthier you. Peace, love, and light.